Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Night Arena here in beautiful Buena Vista, Virginia for tonight's women's basketball matchup between the Hornets of Shenandoah University and your Southern Virginia Knights. Joining me today in the booth is Dawson Weedrake. And Dawson, should be a really exciting game today.
Oh, it really should be, especially after last game here at home a couple days ago. I'm excited to see how this one turns out.
Absolutely. Last game the Knights had a few days ago against the Royals of Eastern Mennonite University. Squeezed by 66-64. Really was a really intense game, Dawson.
It really was. It was a tight game from start to finish. A lot of defense just because of how poor shooting was going on. It was just one of those nights where most shots just weren't going in. In fact, a lot of defensive heroes emerged in our last game. We had two players with 4 steals and one with 3. Those 2 players with 4 steals were Garrett and Brittany Ballot, and then, of course, the other 3 steals were Cory Stout. That's a lot of great defensive effort by those few, and Cory Stout especially impressed me. She was like a free safety out there on the court, just looking for any passes that Eastern Mennonite was trying to get down the floor.
Absolutely, Knights did a fantastic job on defense, forcing 24 turnovers from the Royals and really converting almost on every single one of those chances. Fast break points to transition offense was a staple for both teams in that game. Like you said, multiple standouts for the Knights, and one of the great standouts is Garrett. Ended the game with 16 points and 19 rebounds, her career high in rebounds. She hasn't scored or had them rebounds ever in her NCAA career. It was a great showing for her in the Knights.
Oh, it absolutely was, and it was great unselfish play by her as well, because you saw near the end that Eastern Mennonite was really keying on her. They were locking her down. They were putting a lot of girls in the paint, and it caused a lot of problems for them. So the fact they were able to persevere through that and get a lot of different players involved in the offense was very impressive to me, to say the least.
Absolutely. Story of the first half of that game was poor shooting from both teams, but both teams really picked it up in the second, especially in the third. You had Lexi Spies of Eastern Mennonite shooting 100% from the field and doing a great job in that game of scoring points. And Knights really responding with the 3-pointers of their own. Shooting really picked up in the third quarter and carried into the fourth.
Yeah, it really did. And I mean, there was just a lot of key shots that happened there. Again, shooting 3-point wise for SVU, again, just wasn't very good overall. Like you said, the first half they ended up with only about 18% of their shots went in from the 3-point line, which isn't very common for them this season. They've been shooting so very well, especially Amanda Wood also shooting 44% from 3-point line this year. And so seeing their top shooter shoot like that and then seeing how they shot last game doesn't quite add up for how this season's really been going on.
Absolutely, and through that game was a tight game all the way through, and it all led to the fourth quarter. And in that fourth quarter, beautiful time management from Coach Adam Wardenberg, getting 3 consecutive timeouts, trying to give his team 3 different looks for the final shot of the game, making sure that his girls had the game in their hands at the very end. And it all led to this.
Savannah Christensen with a beautiful fadeaway jumper from the elbow.
Brought the Knights up 66-64. The Royals couldn't convert on their last shot attempt, and that's what did it. Gave the Knights their 5th straight win, and the Knights in this game looking for their 6th against the Hornets of Shenandoah.
And it's a benefit for SVU to play against Shenandoah today, because Shenandoah's had an up-and-down season. They started off the season 3-0, and they lost their next 4 consecutive games. They finally got a win against Bossier, but I mean, this is a team that's still trying to find its identity, Shenandoah anyway, and SVU knows what they're all about. And so SVU knows what they can do to win. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And a little bit more on this matchup tonight between the Hornets and the Knights. We have our sideline reporter, Kashawn Caudill. Kashawn, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Chris and Dawson. I spoke with a couple of the Knights players prior to their pregame and asked what they felt is going to be essential for them in order to get the victory. I spoke with junior guard Cory Stout, who last year in the CAC was 3rd in assists and is currently averaging on the season 5 assists to go along with 6 points. I asked what she's going to be doing tonight to help the Knights get the victory, and she said that her ability to play make coming off the bench and her veteran leadership is going to be essential tonight. I also spoke with senior guard Brittany Ballot about her previous performance against Eastern Mennonite, in which she had 14 points to go along with 4 rebounds and 4 steals. I asked Brittany what she plans on doing tonight to be effective for the Knights, and she said that her ability to get defensive stops and her ability to create shots for herself are going to help the Knights tonight get the victory. So with that being said, there are 3 key factors to look for the Knights in order for them to get the W. Those are limiting turnovers, getting key defensive stops, and getting bench production throughout the game. If the Knights can do these 3 things, then it should be set up for a pretty good game tonight. Dawson, Chris, back to you.
Thank you so much, Kashawn, for that great insight on the game. Should be a great game between 2 great teams Knights looking for their 6th straight win, and the Shenandoah Hornets looking to make it 2 in a row. Should be a really interesting game for Katie Garrett, the sophomore forward for the Knights. She's had an average of double-double on the season. We'll see if she can make it another double-double here tonight.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and with such a great player like that, with those great stats, you know what's going to happen. The opposing defense is going to do all they can to shut them down. And much like against Eastern Mennonite, when they did that for some periods of time, they have to find out who else can help them, the Knights speaking anyways. They have to figure out who can get some outside shooting done. They can figure out who can get some exciting plays, some great steals, some transition points. They can't just solely rely on Katie Garrish just because everybody knows that if they're given the chance, they will.
Absolutely. Katie Garrish averaging 16.7 points on the season with 12 rebounds. Knights' second leading scorer, Alexis Barnes, averaging only 9 points around the game and 5 rebounds a game. So if Garrish is out, the next up in line is Barnes. But we'll see which Knights step up in this game, especially if they double Garrish. If they decide to put 2 girls on her, they'll have to pass it out. One of the options would be Dawn Mead, freshman point guard from Utah. She's averaging 44.4% from the three-point line, so maybe she can find her stroke from deep.
Yeah, being such a young player, she has really brought a lot of almost, I want to say experience, but you know, as a freshman, she's not going to have a whole lot, but she's such an experienced mentality on the floor. Granted, at times, there's freshman moments. Every freshman has those where all of a sudden things are a little overwhelming and something happens, you cough up the basketball and it leads to some transition points. But overall, Dawn Mead does a great job of preventing that. She's very much in control. She knows the offense. She's as comfortable as she can be at this point of the season. And so it's evident by the great shooting that she's putting on so far in the season. And I'm really excited, like the transition between the 2 point guards that they play. There's, of course, Cory Stout and then Dawn Mead. That transition there as they both sub in for each other, it's going great. I love seeing what those 2 different point guards bring. Dawn Mead's more of a conservative offensive playmaker who just gets good shots, whereas Cory Stout, she's a spark plug. She comes in, gets a bunch of steals. She's very quick, especially on defense, and it's just a great dynamic there with those 2 subbing in for each other.
Absolutely, and also can't forget the contribution of forward Savannah Christensen, who had 13 points in the last game against Eastern Mennonite. She is a great asset for this Knights team, really helping Katie Garrish down on the low blocks. We'll see if the Hornets double her as well, or maybe key her. She might play a bigger role than Garrish tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. After seeing that game-winning shot that she had, and also the week before, she was CAC Player of the Week. So she's on everybody's radar right now, even if they're not in the CAC. And so, again, like you said, if Katie Garrish is not on the floor and Christensen is, would not be surprised if she's double-teamed as well.
Absolutely. We'll see what both teams do in this game. We thank you so much for joining us on the Knights Sports Network. Don't move. We'll bring you back at tip-off. We thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you then. Welcome back to the Knight Arena. A little bit of a public service announcement for this game. Game has been delayed for today because one of the referees has a little bit of trouble getting here to Buena Vista, a little bit of car trouble, so we apologize for that. The game's been delayed. Looks like start time will be in around 23 minutes. Just didn't want you guys to be sitting at home waiting for the game thinking we weren't bringing you the coverage you deserve. We thank you so much for your patience, and we'll bring you back at official tip-off in around 23 minutes.
that's focus. That's autofocus. If you want to mess with this, also zooms in if you prefer that way. So it's whatever's more comfortable. Yeah, but then you change it as the game goes on. So yeah, you zoom in or out as action. So you're right. That's a good frame right there. But you go a little tighter once the ball's gone. Right. So the thing is, the one way that always has the ball in the frame because that's that camera. This is for, if it suddenly is going for a good shot, I'm going to get off it. It's not good. Okay. So like, for instance, following this player here, right? And I'll switch players here. This person there shoots. Okay. And then this person gets in the way of the shot. I will change the shot. So, and a big thing, so say our player makes a shot, and then we start running back this side, I want you to follow that player. Yeah, if they're going to shoot it, I need to go to that camera. You're good. You did a good job, yeah. So, for instance, if she shoots, stay there. So I will follow the ball with this camera. And then if she makes it, follow her as she runs across. You know what I mean? So yeah, don't worry about always having the ball on frame, because this is not our main game cam. This is the cinematic. Let's just say free throw. I would go right there. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. So there are cameras where you do have that. We switch this camera to where it's more cinematic than as an actual game camera. So right here, I can't see the shot. But if I'm using this shot, it's because we're talking about that player, or it's someone who just did something good. So they did what we call a hero shot or a shame shot. So someone, yeah. So that's what this is the hero shame camera. Exactly. Yeah, so on that side, totally. And if it's like 2 seconds left in the game, and this person, I would be a little farther out and then get it. Because it's the last second. You know what I mean? But everything else, it's just situational. From there, all that. Right. Well, if somebody does something great and they don't have the ball anymore, still follow them. Then you're like, this is a great thing they did. Oh, shoot, this was good.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Night Arena. If you tuned in earlier in our broadcast, we explained that we had a little bit of extra time for the start of the game. One of the referees having a little bit of car trouble, not able to make it here to the game on time. So with this time that we have, I'm standing here with Dawson Weidrich and Kashawn Cottle. Just have a little bit of a chat about the game. And Kashawn, I really want your insight first about what you think will happen in this game against Shenandoah.
Well, Chris, if we look back to the previous game for the Knights against Eastern Mennonite, they committed 24 turnovers. Now, it's well above their season average. In order for the Knights to be successful tonight, though, against Shenandoah, what they need to do is limit turnovers. And how you do that is being strong with the ball and powerful with your handle. If we look back in the last game against Eastern Mennonite, Dawn and Cory Stout were pretty sluggish and lackadaisical with the ball, and they committed a lot of turnovers. In order for the Knights to be successful tonight, they got to limit turnovers.
Yeah, and I'd say that another thing they'd have to do is rebounding. Now, statistically, the past few games, rebounding has been going great. The game before against, it was
Eastern Mennonite.
Eastern Mennonite. And then the game before that, the 2 games before, I should say, they had 59 rebounds. And then Eastern Mennonite, they had 44. But what I want to focus on is, what I really want to see the Knights do tonight is box out the player they're guarding with defensive rebounds, because what we saw a lot against Eastern Mennonite was a lot of Knights defenders running to the basket trying to get a rebound. And now any coach will tell you, when a shot goes up, you find the closest person and you box them out. You get them out of the way so that only you have the chance to get the ball if it goes in your direction. We didn't see a whole lot of that. Hopefully the Coach Warrenberg is able to help them correct that tonight.
Absolutely. And the Knights are on a 5-game winning streak so far in this season. Shenandoah looking for their 2nd in a row, but the Knights have 5 in a row, looking for 6 tonight. So obviously something's working. So Dawson, what can we attribute so far to the Knights' fantastic start to the season?
Well, the main thing I can start off with is, of course, Katie Garrett. How successful she has been, both defensively. I mean, she's getting blocks galore. Like, anyone comes in the paint, she swats them away. And then also rebounding. She leads the team in rebounding, averages a double-double. Scoring, she's the go-to. And if she's not scoring, they find another person, but she is usually the person that ends up with the higher numbers.
It's funny you say that, Dawson. Katie Garrett is averaging a double-double on the season so far. And Savannah Christian is not far behind her, averaging 12 points and 8 rebounds on the season. What I plan on seeing Shenandoah do tonight, though, I plan on seeing them double-team Katie and Nan. With this being said, though, the Knights and their guards and their wing players have to hit the open shots. In the previous game against Eastern Mennonite, the Knights only shot 25% from the three-point line. If the Knights plan on winning this game, they have to hit the easy buckets, and they have to hit the open shots that Katie and Nan are kicking out to them.
Absolutely. And Knights player leading the team in three-point percentage is Dawn Mead, 44.4% on or average per game, or on the season rather. So, Dawson, what can we expect, especially if Katie Gersh was to get double tonight? What should we expect Shenandoah to do? Because she's a double-double machine. She just gets whatever she wants down in the low blocks. What can we expect from Dawn Mead, and especially from those other players that maybe don't get their names in the stat sheet too often to do tonight?
Specifically with Dawn Mead, I'm looking to see her take care of the basketball very productively. There's a couple times where she's been double-teamed up at the top, and it kind of becomes frantic a little bit because, again, she's inexperienced. She's a freshman still building, and she's doing great, but she still has those moments. And so look for her to, if they're double-teaming Katie Garish, she's going to have more opportunities. She's going to have more chances to shoot from the outside, and she's going to have more chances to get passes to other players around the paint and around the three-point line, as well as Katie Garish. She gets it down the bottom, she's double-teamed, she can easily kick it out to another guard.
It's funny you said that. Dawn Mead, like you said, as a freshman, you can tell during the game that she's going through some growing pains. She commits some careless fouls, some goofy turnovers. But what I like about Dawn is her aggressiveness. She's always going 100%, either on the defensive or offensive end. And that's the best way as a basketball player that you want to play. You want to be going full speed at all times. Now, as a point guard, that's harder to do, especially being a freshman. You got a lot of things going through your mind. You got to be able to communicate with your teammates. You got to communicate with your coaches. There's a lot of things you got going on. So I expect Dawn Mead, like you said, to have a good game. Another player to look out for is Cory Stout, as I said before. Cory Stout is averaging 5 points on the season so far. But Cory is very efficient. She picks and chooses her spots wisely, her being a junior guard. I expect her to find some good shots. And also Amanda Wood. She's shooting around 33% from the three-point line. Now, she didn't have a good game previously against Eastern Mennonite, but I expect her to find her rhythm tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about Cory Stout, she's, again, that player that to kind of surprise you sometimes with the shots she can make. As soon as she gets open, she takes a shot. Again, I've talked about her size disadvantage and how that kind of makes it so that if it's open, she's going to take it. And now the other player I really want to focus on as well is the player who started off the season leading the team in scoring, Alexis Barnes. Alexis Barnes is by far the most athletic starter on the team. She is one of the better defenders, and when she gets going with her shots, she is killer. She can really go off on you. She's great with the dribble drive, if she was able to take care of the ball first off. And then also just some great outside shooting as well.
Absolutely. I think one person that warrants the mention, we haven't mentioned him so much in this broadcast so far, is Coach Adam Wardenberg. In his first season as Knights women's basketball head coach, and he's done absolutely phenomenal. These teams starting the season 6-1 on a 5-game winning streak. They said at the beginning of the season that their mantra was play like a champion. And at least in my opinion, they have played like champions. Dawson, what do you think?
Oh, I absolutely agree, and I think it can be easily epitomized in the final seconds of the game against Eastern Mennonite. The call to have 3 straight timeouts with 16 seconds left each time that a player got in trouble offensively was brilliant. I hadn't seen that done before, and I've watched a lot of basketball. I just have never seen that. What he did is he called timeout to avoid a turnover, but he also called timeout so that they could have the chance to have the ball until the very last second that they could.
I sat in on a couple of the nice practices throughout the year, and one thing I've noticed with every practice, Coach Wardenberg is always giving them key information on how to run plays the correct way. His minute details and everything he tells the players is really interesting. And another thing, his intensity. If the players make one key turnover or they make a bad pass, he gets on them, but it's in a loving way. He cares about his players, and the players tell me all the time that they can tell that he cares about them. And even with that intensity, that's how you get players to play for you. If the coach is able to care about his teammates and show them love and affection, the players reciprocate that. And I think that's a key factor for why the Knights are being so effective on the season so far.
Absolutely. You talk about Coach Warrenberg's intensity. It's almost kind of surprising when you talk to him off the court and you see him on the court. Off the court, he's just a very quiet guy. He's a father of 3 girls. He's very soft-spoken, and again, just your average guy in a conversation. But then he gets on the court, and like you said, one small thing happens, and he gets on him. He gets intense. He gets into it. He's a totally different person on the court, and it's very refreshing to see.
Absolutely, and it's that tough love championship mentality that Coach Adam Wardenberg has instilled in his girls that's led them to this great start to the season. Again, looking for their 6th straight. The Hornets of Shenandoah looking for their 2nd in a row. We'll see what happens. We thank you so much for joining us on the Knights Sports Network. We'll take a little break right now and bring you back for tip-off. We hope you remain with us, and we see you next time, or see you later on the Knights Sports Network.
Your attention, please. Welcome to the Knights Sport Arena at Southern Virginia University for today's Women's Basketball Capital Athletic Conference matchup featuring the Hornets of Shenandoah and your Southern Virginia Knights. President Wilcox and the Southern Virginia staff, thank you for your support of the student athletes and coaches participating in today's contest. In the spirit of good sportsmanship, they ask you to respect the following SU athletic rules. Cheer loudly and proudly for your team, not against the visitors. No profanity, vulgarity, racist, or sexist remarks. No personal remarks towards players, coaches, or officials. Show that you know the game. Stay away from the playing area and team bench areas. Zero tolerance for alcohol and tobacco use at all contests. Thank you for your cooperation, and go Knights! In accordance with tradition at Southern Virginia University, we will begin with a word of prayer, which will be offered by Ella Burrows.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we are so thankful for this wonderful game of basketball and for the joy that it brings to all of us. Father, please bless the players, that they will have mental clarity and that they will be safe. And Father, we wish the best for the referees and the coaches and everybody watching as well. We're so thankful for Thee and for all of our many blessings, Father. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Now, if you will all please rise and face the flag for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. And now for your starting lineups. Starting for the Hornets of Shenandoah, a junior.
Welcome back to the Knight Arena. We are just moments from tip-off here at the Knight Arena between the Hornets of Shenandoah University and your Southern Virginia Knights.
Junior guard number 32.
Yeah, we got a couple starters here so far. We got Sarah Donnelly, Mackenzie Mathis, Ashley Stone, who also got number 33, Shannon Kuhn, and number 54, Jordan Sondrel.
Leading scorer of the Hornets, number 32, Ashley Stone, the junior from Shrewsbury, Pennsylvania. But now the starters for the Southern Virginia Knights. First up, number 12, Brittany Valence, senior from Chantilly, Virginia. Done great for the Knights so far. Little late start in the season, but did a great job against Eastern Mennonite in their last game. Joining her in the backcourt is freshman Dawn Mead.
Now Savannah Christensen, the one that had the game winner against Eastern Mennonite. We're excited to see how she does today.
Joining her, number 23, Alexis Barnes, second leading scorer for the Knights this season. She's a senior guard, so she brings that experience to the table.
Absolutely, and then Katie Garrett, the one who averages a double-double, all reliable for this SVU team. And again, we're looking to see Shenandoah double her tonight, so I'm really excited to see how she handles that double team.
Absolutely, on the season, averaging 16.7 points and 12 rebounds. So, and all those points in the paint. She hasn't shot a single three this year, so she's a little bit of a predictable player, but that's just that much more frustrating for the opposing team when you know what someone's going to do, and they can do it over and over again, and you just can't stop her.
That's a sign of dominance right there. It's like the Golden State Warriors. I mean, not the same level, of course, but Steph Curry's going to shoot threes all day long. You know what's going to happen, but he still does it. Same thing with Katie Garrett, of course, on a smaller Division III scale.
And we're all set up here. Tip-off underway. Knights win the tip-off. Dawn Mead bringing the ball up for the Knights on the first possession of today's game.
Look at that, Katie Garrett outside the paint, helping with some offense.
There was Mead trying to get in the ball into Garrett. Expect to see that the entire night. Garrett's really the go-to weapon for Coach Wardenberg and the Knights.
Yeah, Jordan Sondra looked like she got her hand in on that pass, knocking out of Katie Garrett's hands.
Now we see the Hornets on their first offensive possession. They were able to save the ball from the backcourt call, but it'd be a turnover. It'll belong to the Knights.
That's a good start for the Knights defensively. You saw Katie Garrett going there trying to deflect that pass. She did get a little bit too far in front of Jordan Sondra. Jordan Sondra could have driven it in, but instead she elected to pass it out in confusion and turn the ball over.
See Dawn Mead with the ball. Looks in for Garrett. Garrett puts it up. No good. Rebounded by the Hornets.
And a good clear out by Jordan Sondra, knocking Brittany Valence to the ground.
Dawson a little bit on the Hornets of Shenandoah. They're 4-4 on the season. Just snapped a 4-game losing streak in their last game against Gosher. Maybe not the season they would have wanted, but they're looking to turn around here in this game.
Yeah, they really are. Of course, they're going to have to win their first road game in order to do that. They're 0-1 on the road, so they haven't had a whole lot of time on the road, of course. They've had a whole lot of home games, and so they have to experience an environment such as SVU's Knight Arena, which is tough for other teams to play on. One, because of its size, and two, as a result of its size, the students that come in here and the noise they make.
Absolutely. If you're having a tough time on the road on your season, the Knight Arena definitely the last place on your list of places looking to get a win. So hard to play here in Buena Vista. It's so condensed, so small. The student body is so loud. It's such a great environment for Knights, but it's absolutely terrible if you're an opposing team. It must be the hardest place to play in the CAC.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I think another thing you said about the size is that, as you see Alexis Barnes get that shot, is that basketball is such a mental game as far as shooting is concerned. And shooting is about spatial recognition. For example, you see these big college basketball teams playing in big, giant football stadiums. It throws them off because they're not used to that distance. Same thing in a smaller place.
Rebound by Ballum, and now the Knights on offense now. Into the hands of the freshman. Mead looking in for Garrett. Gets it to her, and Garrett somehow puts it in over the double team. That's 2 points for the Knights.
She had a defender in front of her. She had a defender behind her, but yet she still was just too tall, just shot her right up out of her outstretched arms.
Katie Garrett, as usual, having an immense height advantage in this game. Tallest player for the Hornets, it looks like, is Brianna Turner at 5'11", so not a lot of height on this Hornets team, but a multitude or plentitude of height for the Knights. Katie Garrett standing at an astounding 6'3". She always has the advantage down there in the paint when it comes to height.
Yeah, not only do the Knights have an advantage, you see the foul there in height, but they also have an advantage in experience. This Shenandoah team has 0 seniors on their team, none. And so they have to rely a whole lot on their juniors. I believe there's 6 of them on the team, and the rest of them, of course, are freshmen and sophomores. But very little, in fact, no senior experience and leadership.
A little bit more on that. The Hornets have 9 total freshmen. 9 freshmen on this squad, so a lot of inexperience, but maybe a lot of untapped potential. Saw the first 3 of the game. That was made by Ashley Stone of the Hornets. Stone, the leading scorer for this Shenandoah team, averaging around 10 points a game. And she's on the board here in Buena Vista.
You see some of that ball handling struggles that some of the point guards for SVU have had so far.
Now we see the Knights on offense. This is Ballum. Ballum with the drive. Puts it up off the front iron. Rebounded by the Hornets. Now being dribbled up by Sarah Donnelly. Donnelly gives it up for Stone. That's their leading scorer. Expect them to go to her all night. Stone again. Stone from 3. No good on her second attempt. Rebounded by Barnes. Knights pushing the ball quickly up the floor now.
Cut it very close at midcourt as Alexis Barnes mishandled it.
Dawn Mead with a step back 3. No good. That's rebounded by Mackenzie Mathis.
Both teams right now doing a very good job at defensive rebounding, not giving any team or any player a second chance.
Not what the Knights are accustomed to hearing, especially having Katie Garrett down there, usually able to grab a multitude of offensive rebounds. And just see the corner two no good. Coach Adam Wurdenberg just telling the freshman point guard Dawn Mead, slow down, run our offense, and let's look for a bucket. Barnes with the three. That's no good. Rebounded by Garrett and put off the window for two.
Yeah, that's one thing we've kind of started to see as far as outside shooting is it starts off tough for SVU. They have to get a couple shots in before it starts to fall.
Looks like Coach Wurdenberg looking for a little bit of a change in the guard here. Getting ready to check in, number 20, Amanda Wood for the Knights. And Wood, an astounding three-point shooter, averaging only really around 30% on the season, but she had a really poor game against Eastern Mennonite, and that shot her average way down. Wood, a sophomore from Ashburn, Massachusetts. Her first year at this school, so first time in the Knight system, but she's done extremely well under Coach Adam Wurdenberg.
Yeah, she really has, and Coach Wurdenberg has just allowed a lot of these young players just really blossom early on so far, just like Dawn Mead, as you've said. And it's just done a very good job of managing all these different players in these different positions and the great substitution times that he has for them, great different abilities that each one brings to the table. Again, like you said, just really bringing that championship mentality to this Knights team. Absolutely.
Now we see the first media timeout of the night, giving Coach Wurdenberg and the Knights an opportunity to talk about what they need to do. Only have a 1-point lead so far. Have found a little bit of success with Garrett down low, getting an offensive rebound and getting a good pass from Mead, but really need to open up their shooting. What do you think, Dawson?
Oh, I absolutely agree. I mean, again, we talked about the pregame show that you need to have variety in your offense. I mean, it's great to have one person you can always turn to, but at the same time, if you're going to play like a champion, if you're going to win championships as far as conference is concerned, you need to have, as again, we've stated this multiple times, players that can step up and play and shoot whenever someone's having an off night. Maybe Katie Garrett doesn't hit a whole lot of layups in some games. Who's going to step up? We talked about multiple people that could do that, as Alexis Barnes, Amanda Wood, and all these different other players. But you have to have the open up shots on the outside. They're going to be open when people are keying on Garrett. So let's see if they utilize that.
Absolutely. The Knights have had no problem throughout this year using their bench to get points. Have an extremely deep lineup at Coach Adam Wurdenberg's disposal to put any combination of players in and it'll do the job. So if one person doesn't have the great game that they expect him to have, maybe Katie Garrett gets double teamed and can't break it, but there's always a Knight behind her to pick up the slack and do what Coach Adam Wurdenberg needs this team to do. Now Katie Garrett lining up at the line to shoot two for the Knights.
The Knights so far this season kind of struggling from the free throw line as Katie Garrett makes that first one. Only about 64% from the free throw line this season. And again, I've said it before, and if you've watched this broadcast, I'll say it again. Free throws add up. Of course they do. They're one at a time. But making them and missing them in games can decide between being 1 point away from winning or losing by 10. It's that drastic of a difference how much it adds up.
Absolutely. The freebie points Knights need to convert on. Katie Garrett doing a great job there, going 2 for 2 from the line. Give the Knights a 3-point lead. Sarah Donnelly on the ball now for Shenandoah. The junior sending a 5'2" from Altoona, Pennsylvania. She'll give it up for Sierra St. Cyr. And St. Cyr on the rebound yet again.
I also want to acknowledge you see number 11, Cory Stout in the game now. The energetic defender in there. She's so quick. You see get in the way of that shot.
That shot from St. Cyr off the back iron. Rebounded yet again, though, by the Hornets. Great drive in. That one won't find the net, and it'll be rebounded by Garrett. Knights getting off with a freebie there. Two great chances there from the Hornets.
Yeah, again, you got to prevent those offensive rebounds. It makes it so much easier for your offense if you can just get off the defense as fast as possible.
This is Christensen with the elbow. Good shot for two.
She's got a nice, smooth shot that is just so consistent. We saw that in the game winner against Eastern Mennonite in many other situations. Just has that such nice release that allows the ball to just have that much more of a chance of getting in.
Good drive in, but shot no good. Knights have yet another opportunity on offense, after showing some great defense against the Hornets so far. This is Cory Stout looking in for Garrett. Garrett puts it up. No good. Collects her own rebound. Puts it up yet again. Can't get it. Knights not able to get this one. Rebound falls to St. Cyr.
Cory Stout almost getting a rebound or a steal there, excuse me.
Wide open three. Can't convert. Rebounded though by the Hornets.
You saw 3 defenders around there. Amanda Wood is probably the one that's going to get the call.
That foul call on number 20, Amanda Wood of the Knights. Her first of the night. The ball being inbounded now by Mackenzie Mathis.
Yeah, excuse me, Chris. Sorry about that. You saw Katie Garrett, Savannah Christensen, and Amanda Wood in on that defensive play. And then right there, he also some great defensive effort to turn over the ball for the Hornets.
Looks like it was a
Reagan Johnson, her first, team second.
foul call on number 30 of the Hornets, Reagan Johnson. Her first of the night. Knights now with an opportunity on offense. Ball being brought to the court by Cory Stout. A little bit on Cory Stout, junior from Murray, Utah. Had played a number of years here at Southern Virginia University. Does a great job on defense. That's really her staple. She's a defensive player and a great defensive guard.
That was such a great pass from Angel Tuisavura. Unfortunately, not able to convert. It was beautiful, right? Short bounce pass.
Now the Hornets on offense. This is Donley with the ball now, being guarded by Ballum. Donley gives it up for Sandro, and Sandro called with the travel there. She'll turn the ball over. It'll belong to the Knights.
Yeah, she took a little hop as soon as she got the ball, trying to center herself up, but the ref caught it.
Two travel calls, one after the other, one against the Hornets and now one against Ballum of the Knights. Turn the ball over yet again, and now the Hornets right back on offense where they were just a moment ago. This is St. Cyr.
This kind of similar thing that happened in their last home game for the Knights is they got up by as much as 8, but then all of a sudden Eastern Mennonite came back and then tied it up, and so it's looking like that Shenandoah is making a similar run here.
That's a foul call on Amanda Wood. That's her second of the night. 2 quick fouls in quick succession. This one on the floor. Ball will remain with the Hornets.
A little bit of a mismatch there.
Turned over by Weinel, picked up by the Knights. Tuisavura with a long 2. No good as it goes off the back iron and over top of the backboard. Out of bounds. It'll belong to the Hornets.
Yeah, the Knights really got away with one there defensively as number 22, Olivia Weinel, who's 5'11", was being guarded by Angel Tuisavura, who's only 5'6". And, of course, fortunately for them, Weinel wasn't able to convert.
Mathis being guarded by Tuisavura now. Quick shot off the glass. That's made by Reagan Johnson.
There's the nice power move at the post. Savannah Christensen just not able to get to it.
Stout looking for the out ball, but picked up by the Hornets. This is St. Cyr. St. Cyr looking in for Weinel. A little bit over the head of the 5'11 freshman. It'll go out of bounds. It belongs to the Knights.
And you see Brittany Ballot coming out and Alexis Barnes coming back in. She's kind of been on the shorter side of scoring in the past few games, especially the past few home games. And so I'm just really excited to see her get back into her shooting rhythm.
This is Barnes. Sua'ava for 3. No good. Early parts of the season, Sua'ava led the team in three-point percentage at around 60%. Hasn't found that hot hand really since. Alexis Barnes trying to go off the glass, but she will be fouled and sent to the line for 2 on that attempt. That foul call is on Mackenzie Mathis.
Alexis.
Barnes able to convert on her first shot from the line.
Yeah, she's a great job at the free throw line for the most part. She's just very, again, the senior is so experienced. She practices free throws every single day. And after 4 years of playing, of course, college basketball, you're pretty consistent with that.
Alexis Barnes, a senior from Oceanside, California, second leading scorer for this Knights team, averages around 9 points a game. So athletic and such a weapon for the Knights and Coach Wardenberg. Pass from Barnes, looking for Tua Severa, no good. It'll stay in the Knights' possession, though. It went off the hands of number 5, Mackenzie Mathis. Knights on offense now. Tua Severa. Severa keeps it, takes her own two, no good. Rebounded by the Hornets. St. Cyr with the elbow two, no good. Rebounded by Cory Stout.
Cory Stout, the shortest of the bunch in that group, going for the rebound. She ends up being the one coming down with it.
Entering the final seconds of this first quarter. Suahava takes the final shot off the window for two and on the line. And one opportunity for Lorna Suahava.
The strength to put the shot up even with the contact is very impressive. It didn't even make that.
A little bit more on this first quarter. Our time reporter, Kashawn Carver. Kashawn, what do you have for us?
Hey guys, Shenandoah is currently shooting 11% from the field right now. You can attribute that to Southern Virginia's defense. If the Knights are able to keep up this tremendous defense, they'll be able to win this game pretty easily.
And at the end of the first quarter, score stands Knights 14, Hornets of Shenandoah only 7. The shooting woes for Shenandoah continuing throughout this game. We see some great stale defense from the Knights, though, to keep the Hornets at 7.
Yeah, they've been doing a better job at getting rebounds, and shooting hasn't been easy for them either. They've just been fortunate enough that Katie Garrett's been able to make some of her shots. Got a couple of jumpers, one from Savannah Christensen from the elbow. And the Knights just doing what they can with, again, the past few games just being a little bit hard shooting-wise.
Leading scoring for the Knights so far, as usual, number 40, Katie Garrett, 6 points on the night. And right behind her, just like in the season standings, is Alexis Barnes with 4. So Knights able to spread the ball out and get most of their players, most of the players that have been in the game, on the stat sheet.
They absolutely have. In fact, it was their game two games ago against Clark Summit where almost every single player but one for the Knights that stepped on the court scored a basket. So you'd like to see that involvement of all these different players. And we talk about bad shooting for the Knights so far. They've attempted 3 3-pointers so far, which isn't a lot, but they also haven't made any of them. And so they've realized, okay, that's not going to quite work out for us right now. So let's go to some shorter shots, expand to the outside later in the game. I'll tell you what, though, Shenandoah is out-rebounding the Knights, 15-11 in total rebounds, and Shenandoah's gotten 6 offensive rebounds, so that's one thing the Knights can really watch out for.
Start of this second quarter, the Hornets of Shenandoah on offense. This is Sierra St. Cyr. Tries to get it in to Shannon Kuhn, but turned over by the Hornets. Now belongs to the Knights. This is Dawn Mead.
A great deny by the freshman point guard. She saw it the whole way, put her hand up, and denied the pass.
Unlucky shot from Barnes, doesn't fall. And now with the Hornets.
They just went up that layup just a little bit too strong. And just right off the backboard, didn't really have much of a chance once it left her hand.
This is Kuhn with the ball now. Feeds it in to Stone. Mismatch saw, but Mead doing a great job guarding the much taller Stone.
And that goes back to what Keshawn said about her. She's a very aggressive player.
That 3 no good from Barnes. Shenandoah having some shooting woes, but the Knights following suit with not a lot of luck from the outside so That long two is no good off the hand of Sondrel.
And the shooting world percentage just keeps dropping for Shenandoah. They're not 10.5% shooting, 2 of 19.
Ballot with the drive. Ballot will take it in, but appealing for the foul. Referee saw it differently, said it goes off the hand of Ballot and out of bounds. It's Hornets ball.
Yeah, it looked like number 4, Sarah Donnelly, got in her hand in just the right spot in order to knock it out of Ballum's hands and make it also bounce off of Ballum in the process.
Stone with the ball now. Stone looks in for Sondrel. Back out to Stone. That three-pointer will fall. Bring the score 14-10.
And that is only their second three-pointer of the night so far, again being early on in the second quarter.
Barnes with a quick two. That'll find its way into the basket. Good shooter's roll. Ball's in the hands of St. Cyr. St. Cyr with the three. Bank is open and it's good for three.
Yeah, apparently on Thursdays at about, 7:40 p.m., the bank's still open. There you go.
Now the Knights on offense, but Dawson, just a little bit about the last score of this game. St. Cyr for the Hornets, so athletic and such a great point guard, able to dribble the ball much quicker than you'd expect and not afraid to drive it in on the much bigger Garrett.
Yeah, that's why you're seeing a lot of the more athletic defenders for the Knights sticking on her. You've seen at some points Alexis Barnes defend her, Cory Stout, and you've just seen all these different players guard her that need to be quick enough to keep up with her, because like you said, she is very quick and comes off screens very fast for her shots.
Ball's in her hand and gives it up for the quick shot from Shanna Kuhn, but Kuhn can't find it. And now the Knights on offense. This is Meade.
Katie Garrett already has 6 rebounds so far early on in the second quarter.
Drive in from Alexis Barnes, but the charge called on Barnes. Drawing that foul was number 32, Ashley Stone.
That's just the first on the night. She's very frustrated about that one.
Substitutions, number 5 for the Hornets, Brittany Valence.
Some new faces for the Hornets right now. Number 5 coming into the game, Mackenzie Mathis, went to the bench with Sierra St. Cyr. Mathis in charge of the offense now for the Hornets. Pass into Kuhn, no good, turned over, Knights ball.
And I talked about rebounding earlier, how Shenandoah was leading us at that time 15-10. The Knights have kind of come back a little bit, and now only down 4 rebounds, 18-14.
Pass into Garrett. Can't be corralled by Garrett, turned over. The Hornets on offense. Mathis.
That's one thing she struggled with from time to time on offense, is corralling some of the passes that are given to her. If she catches more of her passes, she'd easily score about 25 a game. It's just some of those are really hard, especially when you have a defender draped on your back.
Quick shot by Wood. No good. Goes out of bounds. It'll belong to the Hornets.
Good effort there by Ballum to try to toss it out of there as soon as possible. By the time she touched it, it already touched the line.
For the Hornets, number 10, Kelsey.
Hornets outscoring the Knights 6-2. At this second quarter, Knights not able to find the bottom of the net so far in this quarter. Quick three from the Hornets, and that's good. Yet again, Ashley Stone from 3.
And that makes Ashley Stone have 6 points right now, just actually 9 points. Those 3 of 4 from three-point land.
To be a timeout taken by head coach Melissa Smelter-Kraft of the Hornets. Hornets able to bring it level 16-16 with 5.5 minutes left to go in the second half, or the second quarter.
Yeah, and this isn't new. Again, we talked about the Knights starting off fast and then kind of slowing down later in the first half to kind of even things up a little bit. And when you got a shooter that heats up like Ashley Stone is right now, that definitely makes things difficult for you defensively, because you have different athletic people like like you said, Sierra St. Cyr, who's very hard to keep track of. And then you got Ashley Jones, she doesn't look like she'd be an outside three-point shooter, but she is very good. She is 75% from the three-point line right now, 3 of 4. And so, again, they have to change their game plan a little bit, knowing that she was leading scorer coming into this. But now I know how she really gets her scoring done. They need to figure out how to lock that down.
Leading the scoring for both teams so far is Ashley Stone of Shenandoah. She has 9 points, like you mentioned, Dawson. 3 of 4 from the three-point line. She's been lights out from beyond the arc so far, and leading scorer for the Knights, Alexis Barnes at this moment, are actually tied with Katie Garrett. Both players have 6 on the game, so Knights really need to cover the perimeters, keep Stone from getting those wide open threes. Most of the threes she's taken have not been contested.
No, they haven't. And one thing that Shenandoah is doing a good job of trying to do right now is those shots off of screens. You saw Sierra St. Cyr try to pull off a little bit, and she actually made one of those. That was the bank shot. And so they're trying to get those quick shots off of those screens because they know that SVU, at times, when they're tired, of course, it's difficult for them to get around those screens fast enough. So it gives them plenty of time to set their shots, especially Ashley Jones. She's a very quick shot. So give her any breathing room, she can make it. Ashley Stone, excuse me.
Tough defense being played by the Knights so far on this possession. Ball with Stone now. Stone looks in. Looks like that ball was tipped by Savannah Christian, but it was a foul call called on Christensen. A little bit of a questionable call. Christensen definitely doesn't think she was capable of the foul there, but the referee saw different.
Yeah, you'll have refs argue back and forth about that being a foul or not, but these refs obviously thinking the prior.
That last basket put up by Jordan Sondrel of Shenandoah. Put into Garrett, and Garrett's off the glass for 2 despite the double team on her.
That is only the Knights' second basket in this second quarter.
Another foul call on the Knights, and that's the third for Wood. Wood already in foul trouble with around 4.5 minutes left to go in the first half.
Yeah, Amanda Wood was one of those people we talked about before the game that could have a good game due to Garrett being double teamed, but so far not getting very many empty or open looks.
Hornets on offense, St. Cyr with the ball. Stolen by Katie Garrett, and Katie Garrett on the fast break run. Puts it up over St. Cyr. Foul called on the play.
Yeah, St. Cyr went in a little bit on the body, and yeah, she bounced off it, but again, the foul was initiated by St. Cyr, so Katie Garrett will go to the line.
They were sending Katie Garrett to the line, and Coach Adam Wardenberg breathing a sigh of relief as he thought that play was going to go on with no foul call. Garrett's good on her first attempt from the line. Give the Knights a 1-point lead.
I was afraid of that because last game against Eastern Mennonite, they had such play where it was obvious that at least something should have been called. Either way would have been fine, but the fact that nothing was done. In fact, it was a play where Brittany Ballot tried to take a charge. She had set her feet, and she was knocked to the ground, and nothing was called. And so that frustrated every fan here in this arena, both for Eastern Mennonite and for SVU.
A lot of times, just a judgment call for the referee, and the referees in charge of tonight's game are Tiffany Drayton, Jane Mitchell, and Anthony Bates. We'll see what they do throughout this game. We'll see what kind of judgment calls they make. As now Shenandoah Hornets not able to get it done on offense. Alexis Barnes rebounding it for the Knights and on her way to the basket.
Almost loses the ball there again. It's been tough handling the ball here for the Knights at home.
Ballum driving it in through a host of Hornets. She'll be fouled on her way to the basket and sent to the line for shoot 2. That foul call on Hornets number 32, Ashley Stone. So Stone's first foul of the game sent Ballum to the line for an opportunity for 2 points. Ballum converts on her first shot.
And you're seeing number 14, Sophie Wright, going to check in for Brittany Ballum after she's done shooting her free throws. Brittany Ballum is one of the younger players that I'm really excited about as far as athletic-wise and basketball IQ. Has great passing ability, great defensive energy, great athleticism. Should be an exciting player for the Knights in the years to come.
It looks like Wright's first job of the day is to guard St. Cyr of Shenandoah. Wright, a formidable defender in her own right. We'll see if she can stand up to the task of guarding St. Cyr. Quick pass in to Mackenzie Mathis. Mathis went up against Savannah Christensen. Yet another foul call against Christensen.
Yeah, she was already on her way to the block and she couldn't stop her momentum. She tried to stop but couldn't and therefore ran into the shooter, causing that foul.
That's 2 nights now with 3 fouls on the game. Savannah Christensen joining Amanda Wood in the category of foul trouble. And now Coach Wardenberg sending in Lorna Suaava to take the place of Christensen.
Yeah, Christensen is one of those players that struggles with foul trouble from time to time. And so I think Shenandoah knew that and tried to exploit that as much as possible. And they're doing a good job of that so far.
And what about Suaava? Sophomore standing at 5 for 9 from Palmer, Alaska. Does great at shooting the 3 and also plays pretty good defense. She gets it done for Coach Adam Wardenberg, but really her main goal on this team is she is a knockdown shooter from deep. We'll see if she can get an opportunity to display her skills tonight. You're going to see Cory Stout with the corner 3. No good. Rebounded by the Hornets. That is Kelsey Jones. Kelsey Jones will give it up to Mathis now.
And you talk about Suaava. Yeah, she's like one of those players that she's one of that rare breed that loves to shoot 3-pointers as well as play hard-nosed, in-your-face defense. You find very far and few in between. And so the combination of that is a nice thing to have for Coach Adam Wardenberg.
He's Cory Stout getting on hand on it yet again. Not enough, though, as Mackenzie Mathis finds her way for an easy deuce. This is Barnes now. Barnes, quick 2, good.
It's a nice dribble jumper from the corner. That's one of the main shots you practice early on in basketball, especially most in pre-games. That shot is just always consistent for Alexis Barnes.
That was a great drive in by Jordan Sondrel, but the defense of Garrett just too much. Knights on offense now. This is Cory Stout. Pass from Suaava broken up by Jones, but picked up by Wright. Then the pass from Barnes into Garrish, no good. Goes off the hand of Garrish. Turns the ball over to the Hornets.
Yeah, that was just too far out of bounds for Katie Garrish to get to. She had to really extend herself to even touch it at the least.
Stone again from 3. No good on that attempt, rebounded by Barnes. Garrish down in the paint. Puts it up, no good, rebounded by Sondrel. Garrish not able to find her rhythm so far in this game.
And again, if you're a post not getting in your rhythm with those low post shots, you need to start looking around to see who can kick it out to for open jumpers.
Stone with the ball through the defense and absolutely everybody for an easy 2 off the window. Looks like on that play, Katie Garrish just didn't step over quite enough to help on the defensive side, and Stone had a wide open lane to the basket.
Cory Stout was really close to double dribbling right there.
Hard foul on number 23, Alexis Barnes. That foul call will go against number 54, Jordan Sondrel of Shenandoah. And Barnes appears to be a little bit shaken up after that play.
Well, she absolutely ran to a wall and knocking the wind out of her. And number 54, Jordan Sondrel, didn't even move after that. Alexis Barnes went right to the ground. And, yeah, those ones sometimes the ones that knock the wind out of you the most. Just those contact plays. All of a sudden you're just like, ugh. You know, you have no breath.
So Barnes have an opportunity yet again on offense. Entering the final seconds here of this second quarter. First half coming to a close. Sua'ava with a three. No good. Rebounded by Sandro. The dying seconds here of the first half. Shot is heaved up. No good, and that'll end the first half. Score stands 24-24. Neither team able to get the better of the other. Shooting woes for both teams, Dawson.
Yeah, absolutely. They're 0 of 7 from three-point range, so it's been very much a struggle for SVU to get anything going from that three-point line.
And our sideline reporter, Kashawn Cottle, standing alongside with Coach Adam Wardenberg. Kashawn, what does Coach have to say?
Coach, you guys held Shenandoah to a 25% field goal percentage in that first half. You have to find yourself tied at halftime. What are some things you guys plan to do in order to pull away from Shenandoah?
Well, defensively we're playing fine. We're playing really good, like you just said, but offensively we got to pick it up. We got to find something to get a little bit more ball movement maybe, or attack the basket, but we'll figure it out. We'll work it out.
Senior guard Alexis Barnes shot 50% from the field in that half, scoring 8 points to go along with 5 rebounds. How do you plan on using her more in the second half?
Yeah, no, she's going to continue to be aggressive in the second half. That's something that we really need her to do, is go downhill, because it opens up everything for us shooters and for Katie inside. So we're definitely going to have her keep attacking, that's for sure.
Good luck the rest of the way, Coach. Dawson, Chris, back to you.
Thank you so much, Kashawn. Dawson, we saw in that first half some poor shooting from both teams. Knights not able to really get their rhythm from three, or really from anywhere so far. What can we attribute that to?
Well, on one hand, you can attribute that to the great outside defense by Shenandoah right now, but at the same time, it just looks like it might be another one of those nights where, as a shooter, it just frustrates you. You know, you shoot all these shots that you know can go in, like Sua'ava. She's a very consistent three-point shooter. She's only able to get one three-point shot off. And, I mean, all these other nights, they just not get a whole lot of open looks. And what great teams do that are great shot shooters is they get open their own shots. They find their own shots very often that way. When they have a chance, they are able to make more consistently. Because if you shoot only like once a quarter, you know, you're not going to get much of a rhythm. And so, again, with only shooting 7 3-pointers in the first half and none of them going in, that says something about them not being able to get as many open looks as they'd like.
Absolutely, and thank you, Dawson. Offensive trouble is the storyline of that first half. Score stands Knights 24, Hornets of Shenandoah 24. Tied up right now. We thank you so much for joining us on the Knights Sports Network. We'll bring you back in a little bit for some halftime analysis. Until then, we'll take a little bit of a break. We'll see you in just a little bit. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Knight Arena. Tonight's women's basketball matchup between the Hornets of Shenandoah University and the Knights of Southern Virginia. Both teams tied up right now at 24-24. Shooting woes really the storyline of that first half. Again, I'm Chris Fly, joined with Dawson Weidrich. And Dawson, what can we take from that first half?
Well, it's kind of something we said at halftime when we were just conversing with each other. You haven't been able to say, got it, all night when it comes to three-pointers. That's a sad day. And not just for us, but for the team as well. It really takes an energy out of the offense. There's just a weapon there they aren't able to utilize. They've been able to utilize all season. And so, again, when it comes to that, you just have to work your way inside. If you're having an off night, go to short shots, which is what Katie Garrett's specialty. You know, also got other players doing the same thing, like Alexis Barnes or Savannah Christensen getting those short shots in there. So work your way from inside to out. At least that's the basic shooter's philosophy for an off day.
Absolutely. Knights haven't made a single three in that first half. Found a little bit of success with Katie Garrett down there on the low block. She has 10 points and 7 rebounds, so well on her way to grab that coveted double-double that she's averaged the entire season. But we've seen some really interesting offense from Shenandoah, really relying on their leading scorer, Stone. She shot 3 of 6 from the three-point line, so the Hornets able to find success from deep. Knights not so much. What can the Knights do to kind of combat that and get a better lead in this game?
Well, I think just tougher exterior defense overall. I mean, just getting on those quick shots because they like to shoot three-pointers quickly. At least Shenandoah does. Like we're off the screen, and then Ashley Stone, she's got way too many open looks. And to say that the Hornets are shooting well would be kind of a lie, I think, because there's been several situations where Shenandoah's had favorable matchups at the post or like short shots, and they just have not been able to convert, fortunately enough for the Knights. And so if they can just continue to try to get in their faces defensively and play a little stronger just overall defensively as well, I feel like they can really throw off that rhythm of the Hornets and at the same time work on building their own rhythm offensively.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, some mismatches we've seen down on the low block. Stone was matched up against Dawn Mead at one point. Stone, who's a junior, and Mead, who's a 5'4" freshman, I believe, down on low blocks, and Mead was able to stop her. So not sure if it has to attribute to some poor offensive showing from the Hornets or some great defense by Mead. Maybe a little bit of both. Well, definitely, it'll be interesting to see what happens in this second half if the Knights can heat up from three or if they keep feeding the low blocks to Garrett, and if the Hornets of Shenandoah find a different way to attack the basket.
Yeah, and also before the game we talked about who would step up if Katie Garrett wasn't able to have a successful night as she would like. I mean, she's kind of at the same pace she would be normally, but a player that has stepped up is Alexis Barnes, the senior. She's gone in there, she's got a couple of layups, she's been able to get to the free throw line a couple times. But again, we really want to see everybody get involved like that, and Alexis Barnes to maybe do even a little bit more damage in the second half. Get in the rhythm with her jump shots, which she's had a couple of those. And then also, like we said, get the coveted three that the Knights are so wanting right now.
Absolutely. Most of the Knights' points coming from Katie Garrett. She has 10 of the 24 of the Knights. We've seen a lot from the foul line as well. Knights doing a good job this game of converting. They shoot around 64% on the season. Looks like maybe Coach Adam Rudenberg said something at practice, so they practice free throws in practice, shooting tremendously now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the past few games, like we discussed in the pregame, free throw line has been kind of their enemy. It was the reason why the Eastern Mennonite game was as close as it was at the end. It's the reason that many of the games at home have been nail biters. It's because of that free throw shooting woes. And so I'm sure Coach Warrenberg, like you said, brought them together and said, hey, these are the stats for free throws. We can do better. We should do better.
Absolutely. Knights averaging right around 70 points per game on the season. Only have 24 right now in the first half. Not on their way to where they'd like to be, their average. We'll see if they turn up the notch in the second half. Again, Knights looking for their 6th straight win on the season. They're at 6-1 right now, and a win tonight would bring them to 7-1 with favorable position in the CAC. Right at the top of the CAC right now is Salisbury. But we'll see what the Knights can do in this game against the Hornets of Shenandoah. Should be an interesting second half. We thank you so much for joining us on the Knights Sports Network. We'll take a little bit of break, and we'll bring you back when the second half starts. Welcome back to the Knight Arena as our coverage of tonight's women's basketball matchup between the Knights of Southern Virginia and the Hornets of Shenandoah continues. Both teams locked up at 24-24 at the end of that first half. Again, I'm Chris Fly, joined with Dawson Wiedrich. Dawson, at the beginning of this second half, what can we expect to see from the Knights?
Well, you can expect them to see play a lot tougher exterior defense and also moving the ball around a lot faster. They were very slow about moving around their offense, and you see them now picking up the pace. And see what happens? You get open looks like this.
Dawn Mead electing not to take the open three, instead looks for the over-top pass to Katie Garrett, and Garrett able to convert it for two.
Yeah, there's a difference in offense between being patient and being slow. That's what SU had to figure out in the first half. They were playing very slow offense, which is very easy for Shenandoah to defend. But if you play fast offense like the last possession, it makes it very difficult. It tires defense out. It gives you better and more open looks.
Some fast-paced offense there from the Knights as Katie Garrett on the fast break. She's fouled on her way to the basket. Be sent to the line for two. That foul was on number 33, Shannon Kuhn of the Hornets. That's her first of the game.
And I think another thing you can expect from the Knights is to get their bench involved in scoring a lot more. That first half, they only had 2 bench points. I mean, scoring overall for the Knights has been a hard thing at best. And so getting others involved and getting other people opportunities to score will be huge for SVU in this half.
Katie Garrett converts on both her attempts at the line. She'll bring the Knights to 9 of 11 on the night for free throws so far. So definitely against their average. They're averaging around 64% from the foul line. Bring it to 10 of 11 rather for 90.9% on the night.
A huge improvement from games past, to say the least.
Great defense there by Barnes, denying Soldrum the opportunity to get the ball down on the low blocks.
Yeah, absolutely textbook denying on the block right there. Great job as Alexis Barnes, definitely more of an outside player. She's a guard, and so she's used to being outside of the paint, being in unfamiliar territory, batting away that pass.
Soldrum going to the basket, and that's yet another foul call on Savannah Christensen of the Knights. That's her 4th of the game. Hard to believe Coach Adam Wordberg trying to defend his play there, saying she just had her hands up completely. Referee seeing otherwise, saying she came down on Soldrum. They're just send Soldrum to the line for 2.
Yeah, personally for me, I didn't see a whole lot there to justify a foul call. Then again, I'm not right there where the ref is, but to me it did look like that Savannah Christensen had her hands straight up in the air, and so tough call for her.
As Christensen goes to the bench in her stead, number 20, Amanda Wood, another player in foul trouble. Wood has 3 fouls on the night.
And so with that, the Knights lose a little bit their height advantage as Savannah Christensen herself being 6 feet tall, whereas Amanda Wood is only 5'8".
Hornets on offense now. This is Mathis. Mathis looking for Soldrum. Soldrum can't find it. Rebounded by Wood. Wood still has the ball. Drives it in on the basket. Lost the ball down on the low blocks. Regained by Donnelly. Now this is Stone. Stone finds Sandra on the easy open look.
As good a things as Amanda Wood did in that last possession, she was trying a little bit too hard. She held the ball for too long while other of her teammates were open.
Now Ballum goes up, and Ballum will be fouled and sent to the line for 2. And this foul call is against Mackenzie Mathis.
And while that will send her to the line, you will notice that she drove down the left side of the paint. The left corner 3 open for Alexis Barnes. If you kick it out right there, that is the most open three-point shot they would have had tonight.
And Ballum will miss the first one and make the Knights 10 of 12 on the night so far for free throws. See what she can do on her second. 0 for 2 from the line for Ballum. Definitely not what the Knights needed there. Stone with the ball. Stone will go up, no good. Rebounded by Ballum.
Another very fortunate situation for the Knights as two defenders keyed on Ashley Stone, and then all of a sudden they both left, thinking the other one had her, and all of a sudden Ashley Stone had this entire paint to drive into. Fortunately for them, she missed the easy layup.
That is the second foul on Ashley Stone for tonight's game after that foul on Ballum. Now Ballum with the ball on offense. Barnes drives in. Barnes looks to go up. Shot no good. It'll go out of bounds. Referee says it's off of Barnes. Much to the disbelief of many here in the Knight Arena. Thought that came off of number 33, Shannon Kuhn of the Hornets.
What people are thinking is that number 33, Shannon Kuhn, came down with her arms on Alexis Barnes' shooting hand and therefore causing the ball to go out of bounds. But again, like you said, the ref not seeing that side of the story.
Hornets on offense. They'll find Kuhn wide open. She'll put it off the window for an easy 2.
A lot of miscommunication between the Knights defensively, so a lot of people just getting open cuts to the basket, and that's just a recipe for disaster.
Amanda Wood on the drive, no good. Rebounded by Sondrel. This is Kuhn with the ball.
Some great work from Alexis.
Stone with the 3. That one in and out. Make her 3 of 7 on the night from three-point land. Now Ballum goes up. That's no good either. But Ballum able to steal it back. And that one falls for Ballum.
She tossed that behind her head as she thought she was getting fouled and ended up going in without the foul call.
That'll bring Brittany Ballot to 4 points on the night so far. So Mathis drives in. No good. Mathis is able to corral their own rebound. She has it on the floor. Jump ball called here. Possession arrow in favor of the Hornets of Shenandoah. And now some Knights coming in for Coach Adam Woodenberg's squad. Number 11, Cory Stout. And making her first appearance of the game, number 10 for the Knights, Nicole Muse.
I'm surprised in that last play that Mackenzie Mathis wasn't called for travel as she fell to the ground with the ball.
A little bit on Muse, a great offensive weapon, a pretty good shooter for this Knights team. Should be looking to make an instant impact in this game so far.
Yeah, Sierra St. Cyr just got her 5th point of the game.
Muse with her first chance on offense. First shot taken, that one's way off the back of the glass. Picked up again though by Muse. And she won't miss that one. She'll put it off the window for 2. It's 32-32 in Buena Vista.
It's like I said, work your way from the inside out. She started off way too far out of range, then obviously able to get that layup to get her more in a better rhythm.
Mathis with the ball. She'll give it up to St. Cyr. St. Cyr looking for Mathis wide open. She'll put it off the glass for another 2. Back and forth game between both teams so far. Be a foul call on the floor. That one against number 1 of the Hornets, Sierra St. Cyr. St. Cyr's second foul of the night. Now immediate timeout taken on the floor. Coach Adam Wurdenberg just having a word with one of the officials there. Believes one of his or some of his players maybe getting fouled or fouls not being called in favor of them, and some questionable foul calls on the other end.
Yeah, definitely some things that Coach Warrenberg wouldn't agree with, and many people here in Knight Sports Arena won't agree with as far as call-wise. Again, that's one thing you can't really control. And that last foul, St. Cyr, just a little bit too aggressive on Cory Stout going for that steal. And when you have situations like this, where you're getting fouls called against you and you feel like it's just uneven, all of a sudden you got to fight this mentality of the world against you. Because that's what it feels like sometimes. If the refs aren't going your way, you feel like there's a, for lack of a better term, there's a lack of hope that kind of starts to happen in an offensive system. And so you kind of start to slow things down. You start to kind of put up shots you normally wouldn't do. and the Knights have to avoid that mentality throughout the remainder of this half.
Absolutely, the show must go on. And just you saw there, SVU's Spirit Squad and Stunt Squad making their presence known here at the Knight Arena. They do a great job of keeping the energy of the Knight Arena up and keeping the fans engaged in the game. They just do a great job.
They really do, in the Knights right now, needing that energy both defensively and shooting-wise. And so, again, the fact that they have Cory Stout in right now, Alexis Barnes, Amanda Wood, and Nicole Muse, all those athletic defenders and those athletic offensive shooters, it should be hopefully it's a real boost to their offense.
Stout inbounding the ball now. She'll find Muse. Muse immediately tried to get it into Garrett. Back out to Muse. Muse goes up for two. She'd be fouled on the play and sent to the line to shoot two for the Knights.
Mackenzie Mathis thinking she got her hands on the ball, which Amira kind of looks similar to that too, but the Knights getting the fortunate call.
Correction, number 5, Mackenzie Mathis, right there.
That is Mackenzie Mathis' third foul of the game. Be interesting to see what Coach Melissa Smelter-Kraft has in store for the junior.
We talked about how good at the free throw line the Knights were in the first half. This second half, all of a sudden, the free throw line, except for that shot, being a real menace to them right now.
Knights 10 of 14 from the free throw line so far in this game, shooting around 71%. Correction, 11 from 15 from the line, shooting 73%.
Nicole Muse, some beautiful defense on St. Cyr on that cut. She was trying to make it to the back, it's the paint.
That'll be a foul call on Nicole Muse, her first of the game. It'll send Sierra St. Cyr to the line to shoot two. She'll drain her first, and Coach Wurdenberg putting in two new faces for the Knights. Brittany Ballot coming in, also Angel Tuasavura. St. Cyr's second's no good, rebounded by Garrett. Now Cory Stout with ball. Katie Garrett's down the low blocks, can't get it, brought down by Ballum. That's a foul call on Sierra St. Cyr. That's her third of the game so far. It'll send Brittany Ballot to the line for another two for the Knights. A little bit on Brittany Ballot. She's a senior, standing at 5'5" from Chantilly, Virginia. Played multiple years for Southern Virginia University. Done a great job of that guard spot and hasn't disappointed Coach Adam Wurdenberg in this season.
You see some substitutions for Shenandoah. And this third quarter, I mean, the scoring says otherwise. I mean, it's only been 11 to 10 scoring in this third quarter. But the scoring feels like it's been a lot slower. And we felt like in the first half, it couldn't have been much slower. But it seems like both teams just continuing to be in that shooting rut. Great defense from Katie Garrett.
I was just about to say it, but you beat me to it, Dawson. Great defending there by Garrett, and another great defensive showing there from the Knights. Amanda Wood for three. That one no good. Trying to be rebounded by Garrett. It'll be an over-the-back call on Garrett. Katie Garrett there climbing over the back of Reagan Johnson of the Hornets.
The Knights still 0 from the three-point line tonight. They're 0 of 8. And that's one of the very first attempts we've seen in the second half from the three-point line for them. You're starting to see them really go away from that. They're saying, yeah, that's not happening tonight.
Coach Adam Wurdenberg just there momentarily having a word with the referee, saying that Garrett was standing straight up on that call and it was a fair call, or no foul call on the play. But nevertheless, foul goes on Garrett, and now we see a foul on the other end. Be a foul call on Cory Stout.
Cory Stout, her first, team's fourth.
That's Stout's first.
Yeah, every single time I see a foul called on Cory Stout for blocking, I have to really doubt it at first because she does such a great job at putting her feet down and getting in a stance where she can take a charge. Of course, maybe that time, maybe not her feet as set as ref would like.
Saw a great steal from Tuisavera. Tuisavera on the break, trying to get it to Stout. Tuisavera saw Kelsey Jones of the Hornets in front of her, saw the height difference and elected not to go up against it. Knights inbounding now. Cory Stout. Ballum drives into the paint. Had the open lane, but just couldn't convert on the layup.
Yeah, went
Shooting
up too
woes
strong.
continue for the Knights.
Went up way too strong, excuse me, Chris, and then because of that, it went way off, and she just didn't expect to be that open. That's been a struggle for Brittany lately, figuring out if she's as open as she is and then putting it up way too strong.
Trying to get a ball out to Sandro. Now this is Jones. Jones back into Sandro. A little bit of a mismatch there. Sandro goes straight up to it. The elbow two is good. It'll bring the score 37-34 in favor of the Hornets.
Yeah, late in this third quarter, the Knights are only at about half of what their average scoring is.
And that layup is good from Garrett, and Coach Adam Wurtenberg having a little bit more than a discussion with the referee there. Thought that Garrett was fouled on the play. Might have been right, but it's 2 points instead of a three-point opportunity for the Knights. Now this is Jones. Jones no good. Rebounded, though, by the Hornets.
And number 5, Mackenzie Mathis, doing a good job bouncing it off a Knight defender's foot out of bounds.
Shot up by Mathis, no good. Rebounded by Stout. Three by Wood. No good. The shooting woes from three continue for SVU. Now Katie Garrett's called for yet another foul call on the play. That's her second of the night.
I can understand that one. She did reach a little bit forward over the defender's back.
See Coach Wurtenberg having a little bit of discussion with referee Anthony Bates on the call there. Feels that some of his players have been treated a little bit unfairly throughout this game.
And now the Hornets in the bonus here.
On the line is Reagan Johnson of the Hornets. Johnson had 2 points on the night, and she'll add another one there. So her first free throw attempt is good. Savannah Christensen making her way back in for the Knights so far. Coming out of the game, Angel Tuisavera. Just a reminder for everyone at home that Savannah Christensen has 4 fouls on the night. One more and she's done for the day.
And also, if you're just joining us, the Knights, after that last three from Amanda Wood, are now 0 for 9 from the three-point line. It's been like pulling teeth trying to get a three-pointer to fall. It's just been extremely difficult overall.
Just for a little bit of comparison, Dawson, Knights shooting 0 of 9 from three-point land, and the Hornets shooting 4 of 10. So 40%, that's considered pretty good three-point percentage. So just the shooting difference between both teams from the three-point line really evident. It's amazing that the Hornets are not up by more considering the Knights shooting woes.
And the Hornets haven't really shot any more threes in the second half than they did in the first half, so they're really checking back on that as well.
Savannah Christensen goes up. That shot no good, rebounded by Stone. Christensen with only 2 points on the game so far, much different than her last showing against Eastern Mennonite, which she ended the game with 13. And that shot by Soldier was good. It'll bring the score 41-36.
in that last jumper. Jordan Sandro now has 10 points on the night, 1 underneath Ashley Stone.
Pass into Garrett. Garrett goes up. That'll find it 2. That'll bring Garrett to 18 points on the night.
Still 2 rebounds away from that average double-double, but again, just another quarter to be played.
Third quarter end, score SVU Knights 38. The Hornets of Shenandoah 41. And our sound reporter, Kashawn Cottle, a little bit more on that third quarter. Kashawn, what do you have for us?
Heading to the fourth quarter, the Knights find themselves having a little bit of shooting troubles. The Knights are currently shooting 30% from the field right now, and are currently 0 for 9 from the three-point line. The Knights are getting a lot of open shots because we find Shenandoah double-teaming Katie Garrett and clogging up the paint. If the Knights are able to hit just a couple more of these open shots, they should be able to win the game pretty easily. Ball movement has been another cause for concern for the Knights so far, as they currently only have 4 assists. If they're able to get a couple more swings on the ball per possession, they should be able to create more high percentage shots for themselves. So as we head into the fourth quarter, let's look for the Knights to create more ball movement and to hit their open shots. Let's see how it goes. Dawson, Chris, back to you.
Thank you so much, Kashawn. Score stands right now 38 for the Knights, 41 for the Hornets. Knights have failed to make a single three-pointer in this game, and they've shot poorly from the field. 13 of 42, 31% from the field, 12 from 17 from the free throw line. That's 70%, so better from the free throw line, but poor shooting overall for the Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that attributes to this lead now by the Hornets is some things that have happened defensively. There's been a lot of miscommunication, a lot of people left open, and so that the Hornets were able to get comfortable in their offense. They got those open looks and got around some screens and had some great cuts, and flat out, just some shooters way too far open for the Knights' liking.
Shooting percentages for Shenandoah right now. They're 14 to 44 from the field, 31.8%. And also 4 of 10 still from 3, so that's 40%. Only thing, the difference between the teams, the only thing right now is that three-point percentage. Knights need to find that weapon and utilize it, and quickly. Now we see Brittany Ballot for the Knights. She'll drive in and she'll be fouled.
Brittany Ballot's been good at getting into the paint and driving to the paint. It's just finishing has been such a struggle with her. That time it was kind of Hawks who's double teamed and fouled. But again, just overall it's been a struggle for her.
And that foul call on number 32, Ashley Stone. That's her third of the night. Again, Stone leading scorer for the Hornets right now. She has 11 points, 3 of 7 shooting from three-point land. She has 3 of the 4 three-pointers for Shenandoah in this entire game. This is Kuhn now. Kuhn drives in on Stout. Stout able to get a hand on that ball and poke it loose, and it's picked up by Wood and the Knights. Wood looks up for Ballum. Ballum drives in. Ballum goes up, and a charge called on Brittany Ballum somehow. Foul call on Ballum. Looked like it had been a block call. Referee saw differently.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Brittany Ballum was spinning around, and again, she wasn't spinning incredibly fast, and the defender didn't have their feet very well set because they were trying to get to where she was spinning too. And so, again, an argument maybe from that perspective could be made 2 different ways. I just don't see it from here.
Great defensive stop there from Cory Stout, flying out of nowhere to intercept that ball. Give the Knights another opportunity on offense. Pass out to Ballum. Ballum goes up yet again. Falls to Garrett. Garrett off the glass for 2.
I'll call that a great pass from Brittany Ballot. Looked like she's kind of going up with it, but ended up in Katie Garrish's hands for the assist.
I believe it was more a little bit of a shot by Ballum and a missed foul call there by the referees, but nevertheless, it's the Knights 2 points. Now the Knights will regain possession right now after that missed shot from Stone.
Looked like her leg kind of gave out on her for a second, so she falls to the ground. Not really sure what happened, but she is up and about, so it looked like nothing got hurt. Just an awkward leg play right there.
Ballum trying to get into Garrett. Garrett gets it left-handed off the window for 2. Knights will take the lead. That shot is good from Jordan Sondrel.
You see Christensen being very careful defensively, trying not to get fouled out here late in this game.
And that'll bring Sondrel to 10 points on the night, only 1 point behind Stone. Back into Garrett. Garrett off the window for 2. Garrett starting to find her stride in this game.
That gives her now 24 points and still only 8 rebounds so far. The Hornets doing a good job of preventing her double-double.
Defense being played by Wood there. Be a foul called on Wood.
On the night's number 20, Amanda Wood, for the fourth. Team second.
That is the 4th of the game for Amanda Wood, and she'll make her way to the bench. Coach maybe trying to save her for a little bit later in the game. She knows what a deadly shooter she is. In her stead comes senior guard Alexis Barnes.
And we talked about how Katie Garrett has 24 points right now. She's only 2 points away from her career high of 26 with 7.5 minutes left in this fourth quarter.
Well, Dawson, expect her to have an opportunity to get it. She's been the hot hand so far for the Knights. Don't expect the Knights to stop feeding her. Be a charge call here against Jordan Sondrel. And really risky play by Savannah Christian. She has 4 fouls on the night. That could have gone either way. Gutsy play, great risk, and a great reward.
Absolutely. She planted her feet. She stood her ground, made sure that it was known, hey, I was standing here first. That is a charge. And honestly, I'm just surprised at how long it took for the refs to blow their whistle. But again, the great call on the floor.
Savannah Christian with a 3. Got it! First 3 of the night for Southern Virginia.
Finally, they get one to fall from 3-point range after that momentum shifter with the charge.
And who else to get it but the clutch performer from their game a couple nights ago, Savannah Christensen.
I'm just relieved I finally got to hear you say got it tonight, Chris. There we go.
Hornets on offense. Mathis looks in for St. Cyr. Picked out of the air by Katie Garrett. Knights on offense. Christensen up. No good. Foul call on the play. We'll see who it's on. That foul call number 54 of the Hornets, Jordan Sondrel. That's Sondrel's 3rd foul of the night. And a timeout called by Coach Melissa Smelter-Craft of the Hornets.
And that timeout happened because you see this momentum shifting to the Knights. And you see how energetic the students here in attendance got after that finally made 3-point shot, the long-awaited 3-point shot to fall in. And the Knights, again, getting momentum with defense, getting that charge call with Savannah Christensen. And, of course, getting that foul called right there on that rebound against Brittany Ballot.
Absolutely a host of things going in the Knights' way to get that momentum behind them. That 3 from Christensen. The charge call taken by Christensen. Some great plays by Savannah Christensen to get the momentum in the Knights' favor. And especially Garrett down there in the low blocks on the offensive side, getting what she wants. Right now she's got 24 points on the game. She's had her way down the low blocks on the offensive side and on the defensive side. We saw her break up a couple passes there right before this timeout break.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if they keep playing the offense they've been playing the past couple minutes. I would not be surprised if Katie Garrett ends with 30-plus points.
We'll see what happens as both teams take the floor. Score stands 48 for the Knights, 43 for the Hornets of Shenandoah. And the Knights will start out with the ball, inbounded by Cory Stout. No changes in the lineup right now for Adam Wardenberg. Ball goes into Christensen. Christensen goes immediately up, and she'll make it count for 2.
And now she's all of a sudden the hot hand for the Knights. That's another player stepping up in order to provide some scoring relief for Katie Garrett.
Christensen has 7 points on the game today. Pass out to St. Cyr. Nice trying to get a hand on that ball. Wide open 3-point chance for Sondrel. No good. But repossessed by the Hornets. This is Mathis. Knights can't grab it.
That's a great double team at the post by Christensen and Garrett.
Now Donnelly drives in, pass it up to St. Cyr. St. Cyr with the three. That'll fall for the Hornets. Make it a 4-point game.
And that makes the Hornets 5 of 12 from the three-point line, making it 41.7%.
Alexis Barnes now with the ball. Christensen with a corner three. Got it! That's 2 in a row for Savannah Christensen.
And she's 2 for 2. Those are only 2 3-pointers she shot all night with the woes that everybody else is having. She's had it.
Almost thrown there. Now Sondrel up against Christensen. Travel call against Jordan Sondrel. Knights will maintain or keep possession of this ball now. Ashley Stone being put in the game yet again for the Hornets so far. Still the leading scorer of this Shenandoah team. Actually not. She's been taken over by Jordan Sondrel. Sondrel have 12 points. Stone has 11. Tried to get a ball into Garrett. It appears Garrett was fouled on the play. Foul call against
Number 30, Reagan Johnson. Number 30, team score.
30, Reagan Johnson. Wasn't really sure. Looked like the referee said Ashley Stone, but instead said Reagan Johnson. Now immediate timeout taken on the play. Score 53-46 in favor of Southern Virginia.
And talking about this late spurt from Christensen, I mean, she's one of those players that just has a toughness mentality. I mean, every player wants to play tough, but there's very few that have that mindset already in their head before they step on the floor. And that Christensen is one of them. And being presented with foul trouble, she's like, well, if I'm not going to be playing that much, I'm going to end up fouling out anyway, which we don't know if she will with still being in the game with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left. She's like, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to shoot every shot that I can get. I'm going to shoot all the open ones, and I'm going to make them. I'm going to put it in. I'm going to do what I can for my team before I get out of this game.
And what heart shown by Christensen to take those risks. She has 4 fouls, 1 foul away from being indefinitely out of this game. Taking the risks on offense, shooting those threes when the threes have not been falling all night. Great heart shown by Adam Wernerberg's squad, and especially Savannah Christensen.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, again, just relieving Katie Garrett, because it was, I believe, 4 straight possessions where the Knights just went straight to her and said, hey, here you go, do your thing. And she did it, but at the same time, with predictability, you want to avoid it. And so the Knights are avoiding that with a surprising shooting from Savannah Christensen right now.
Christian has 10 points on the game. Katie Garrett has 24. Garrett's 2 rebounds away from that double-double.
Yeah, Katie Garrett's been held at 8 rebounds for quite a while now in this game.
Christensen drives in for the Knights, takes another shot, and that'll find its way into the basket as well. Savannah Christensen absolutely on fire from the field right now.
And she now has 12 points. She is 5 for 8 from the field, 2 for 2 from three-point land, and just has 2 rebounds and 1 assist.
Just saw St. Cyr with a quick drive to put it in for 2. St. Cyr on the game has 11 points.
See that quick offensive work for the Knights yet again.
Cory Stout with an underhanded layup, no good. Rebounded by Donnelly. Now St. Cyr with the ball for the Hornets. This is Stone with the ball now. Stone finds a floater. It'll go down for 2. It's 55-50. Ballon with the ball now. Back to Christensen, the hot hand for the Knights so far. This is Barnes with the ball. Ballon goes up, and she's fouled on the play. It'll send it to the line for 2. That foul call on Sierra St. Cyr. That is her 4th foul of the game. St. Cyr in some serious foul trouble now with 3.5 minutes left to go in this game. Ballon's first attempt, no good, off the back brick.
Yeah, there's a downside to being as athletic of a player as St. Cyr is that you're all over the place, and sometimes things just get out of hand. You get so many fouls called on you. You know, you have too much momentum running towards somebody that you're defending or whatever the case may be. It happens, and it makes it tough for you as an athletic basketball player.
Ballum goes 0 for 2 from the line. Wonder how much those missed free throws will come to bite the Knights later in this fourth quarter. And that last foul call against Ballum of the Knights, that's her third of the night. Sierra St. Cyr with the ball now for the Hornets. Travel call against number 4, Sarah Donley of the Hornets. Turns the ball over, and now it's Southern Virginia ball.
And that's fortunate for the Knights because Brittany Ballot, who was defending on that screen, fell down to the ground and wasn't able to help on defense for about a second and a half.
Ballum looking for Garrett. Great pass. Garrett puts it up. No good. It'll go off of Garrett. Wide open opportunity missed. A little bit of pressure coming in from Mathis. Just enough to knock that shot off. This is Stone. St. Cyr back to Stone. Stone drives in. Stone shot no good. Rebounded by Garrish.
And that gives Garrish 9 rebounds in the night. One more away from a double-double.
Christensen looks in for Garrish. Finds her. Garrish goes up off the window for 2 and a foul call on the play and one opportunity for the Knights.
Yeah, with this free throw, can beat her career high of 26 points. She has 26 right now and can make it 27.
And that foul call goes on Jordan Sondrel. That's her 4th of the game. And was no good. It is off the back iron, rebounded by the Hornets. Still a 7-point game. Tried to get the pass in to Sondrel. Picked up by Garrish, and now dribbled up by Cory Stout. Great pass into Garrish. She's fouled on the play, and that foul call will go against Sondrel. If I'm not mistaken, that's her 5th and final of the night.
Yeah, you got a couple of players for Shenandoah in foul trouble tonight, including that one right there, especially late in this game. And so again, with these 2 free throws, she could potentially set her career high to either 27 or 28.
So 2 great topics of news for the Knights. Katie Garrish really close to getting her career high, and Jordan Sondrel of the Hornets out for the rest of this game. Sondrel, the 2nd leading scorer for this Hornets team so far, only under Ashley Stone.
And that's the career high, 27 points. And maybe more here after this free throw. Makes it 28 points for tonight, her career high.
Pass into Johnson. Now St. Cyr for 3. That'll find its way in. A timeout call from Coach Melissa Smelter-Craft of the Hornets.
I tell you what, tonight Katie Garrish getting her career night in scoring on a night like this has been, as little offense as it was early on. That's a testament to how much of a workhorse she is, how hard she works day in, day out, and every play for this Knights team.
Absolutely, and Katie Garrish has 28 points on the night. Phenomenal scoring for her in this game. Still 1 rebound shy of that double-double. She has 9 rebounds so far in this game, and also Savannah Christian stepping up massively. She only had 4 points coming into that 3rd quarter, and now she has 12. A great scoring spurt by Savannah Christensen, and great all-around scoring from Katie Garrish.
That's what you see here is you see Shenandoah starting a full court press, kind of similar to what Eastern Mennonite did late in their game against SVU.
Cory Stout being pressured in her own side of the court, and Coach Adam Wurtenberg forced to take a timeout there.
Yeah, in the press, you want to avoid the sides because that's exactly where the defender is going to go and trap you the hardest. It's going to make it very difficult for you to make a successful pass that isn't a turnover. And so what you have to do is you have to get to the middle of the court, middle flashers, get it there so that they can pass out to somebody who's flying down the court to the other side and break it fast and easy. And I'm sure it's exactly what Coach Wurtenberg is telling them in this huddle right now.
We'll see if that's the case as Coach Adam Wurtenberg's team makes their way onto the floor right now. No changes in the lineup for the squad at this point for either team. A little bit of news on Shenandoah. The leading scorer position has been taken over yet again, this time by number 1, Sierra St. Cyr. She has 14 points on the night.
A great double break by Brittany Ballot.
This is Alexis Barnes. She'll give it up to Ballum. Passed into Katie Garrett. Garrett goes up off the window for yet another 2. That's 30 points on the night for Katie Garrett.
And every single basket she makes from now on will keep setting a career high.
Drive in by St. Cyr, no good. Rebounded by Johnson. Kick back out to Mathis. This is Stone. Stone for 3. It'll find its way in some way, somehow. Timeout called by Coach Wurtenberg of the Knights.
And now one thing the Knights have to be careful of, they're only up by 5. Okay, and that's something that's, for some reason, late in this fourth quarter is not hard to get to. And so what the Knights need to do is they need to take care of the ball when Shenandoah presses, and they will. And then, once they take care of the ball, get very high-quality shots, like they've been doing with Katie Garrett. Keep building up your career high because it's working, builds the lead, and it keeps the ball away from Shenandoah for that much longer. And so on defense, though, they need to key in on Stone, Ashley Stone. Again, because she's the most consistent shooter. She's the one that'll take the shots, or take the least amount of space to get a good shot. And they just need to, again, just lock down defense right now.
Mentioning Stone in that breath, she is now the leading scorer for the Hornets with 16 points on the night. Under her, Sierra St. Cyr with 14. So Knights definitely need to key those 2 players. They're the hot hands for the Hornets so far in this game. And now Brittany Ballum inbounding the ball for the Knights. Gives it into Garrett. Back to Ballum. Knights just taking their dear sweet time on this possession.
And you're going to start seeing the intentional fouls from Shenandoah as time's starting to run out.
That's the 4th foul on Mackenzie Mathis. It'll send Cory Stout to the line. Knights so far shooting 15 of 24 from the foul line, 62.5%. We'll see if Cory Stout can enhance that number. First one is good from Stout.
I am surprised that Shenandoah didn't try and foul Brittany Ballum because Brittany Ballum's had struggles from the free throw line tonight, whereas Cory Stout is more consistent.
As consistency pays off, hits her 2 from the foul line.
Neither of those free throws hit the rim at all. It's just straight net. That's how consistent she is.
Coach Adam Wurtenberg telling his girls to push back and not do too much of a full court press to meet him at half. This is St. Cyr with the ball now. Quick drive in. No good. Rebounded by Garrett. And that rebound for Garrett gives her the double-double she's been striving for. Career high on points for tonight, and a great double-double by Katie Garrett.
Yeah, 30 points, 10 rebounds. You can't ask for a better game from any player at any level, basically. I mean, unless you're expecting somebody to score 50 points, which is just ridiculous. But again, you can't ask any better of Katie Garrett right now.
Not to mention 8 from 9 from the foul line. She's really been consistent at getting those freebie points.
And so now being up by 7. Being up by 7 gives you a little bit more breathing room with 32 seconds left. You still don't want to relax at all because you don't want to give up any hope at all. And so you got to get a successful inbound pass. You got to have an offense that you're not going to get a shot off very fast, or at least you don't want to. There's 2-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. So you want to waste as much time as possible, but expect a foul from Shenandoah.
Amanda Wood to inbound the ball for the Knights. Gets it in immediately to Christensen. Now just a passing game for the Knights as Cory Stout running away from all the defenders. Still on the run. And Cory Stout finally fouled by Sarah Donnelly. Great elusive play by the junior guard.
Yeah, Cory Stout acting like she's playing tag over here, just avoiding every single touch of every defender. And so it cracked the bench up a little bit.
And more importantly for the Knights, it'll send Cory Stout to the line to shoot yet another 2. First one is good.
Another
Stout.
free throw that doesn't hit the rim at all. As a shooter, that's the best feeling in the world when that happens.
Knights now taking an 8-point lead over the Hornets of Shenandoah. Cory Stout, great showing from the foul line. She is 4 from 4 from the foul line so far.
So that extends this lead to 9 with 26 seconds left. Shenandoah is just going to start throwing up quick shots right now, which aren't very high quality, but that's what they need.
Be a block call here against the Knights. That foul call on Brittany Ballot. That's Ballot's 4th foul of the night. Just Kuhn with a quick shot. The floater is good. Now a 7-point game.
And so now you see the Hornets fouling Brittany Ballot, the one that I talked about earlier, who's been struggling from the free throw line. That's who you want to get the free throw line, not Cory Stout. But of course, Brittany Ballot being the senior, she's capable in situations like this of bringing her free throws, to be more consistent, and to keep helping extend this lead.
Interesting to see Cory Stout not in the game right now for the Knights. And just as I say that, Coach Wardenberg putting in Stout in for Dawn Mead. Also joining the game, we're about to check in for the Knights, is Angel Tuisavura. Brittany Ballot 2 for 2 from the line. 9-point game in favor of the Knights. 17.1 seconds away from a Knights victory.
One thing Brittany is so good at doing is stepping up when she needs to with free throws, and just like that, she was 2 for 2.
St. Cyr. Now Kuhn. This is Stone. Stone with the 3. No good. Rebounded by Garrett. Great work down there in the low blocks. Knights 1 second away from victory, and that's it. Knights get their 6th straight win over the Hornets of Shenandoah.
Yeah, and they do it in kind of sluggish fashion. You know, shooting didn't really work out all that well. The only 3-pointers of the night that were made were from Savannah Christensen. They were, as a team, they were 2 of 11. Christensen was 2 of 2 personally. And again, a shout out to Katie Garrett for the great game she had, setting a career high with 30 points and 11 rebounds, 11 with that final rebound that she had. But credit Shenandoah on a night where neither team was shooting very well. They gave the Knights quite a fight. It took a very tremendous 4th quarter for the Knights to take over. In fact, in that 4th quarter, the Knights had 29 points. That's more points than they had in the first half combined.
It was a slow showing for both teams in the beginning. Both teams, neither team able to get the better of the other, but the Knights able to pull away in the final minutes of the 4th quarter under the great shooting of Savannah Christensen and just the steadiness of Katie Garrett. 30 points on the night, 10 rebounds, a great career showing for Katie Garrett, another double-double, and a great win for the Knights and Coach Wardenberg. And Kashawn Caldwell standing in line with Coach Wardenberg. Kashawn, what do you have for us?
Coach, congratulations on the win. Your starting center, Katie Garrett, set a career high of 30 points tonight. Do performances like this from her even surprise you anymore?
No, she's really a good player, and quite honestly, her biggest problem is she doesn't quite believe in herself as much as I do, I think. And as long as she continues to know that she could be one of the best players in the country, she'll carry us a long ways. But it all starts with our team first, Katie second.
Coach, you guys are also currently on a 6-game winning streak. What do you attribute that to?
You know, we're just playing together really well as a team. And today was a really good showing by our team in terms of we struggled early on, but when it came down to it, we got stops when we needed to, we executed when we needed to, and we got it done. So,
congrats on the win, Coach.
Thank you.
Go enjoy it. Guys, and now we have Alexis Barnes. Alexis Barnes Lex, congrats on the win. You did a good job of bouncing back from your previous performance tonight by scoring 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. What was the difference for you in terms of your mindset?
You know, I just came in with a lot of energy, and I just came in with the mindset I was ready to go. I wanted, my goal was to get my teammates open, and whenever I could go up for a shot, I would just try. So I just came in there with a lot of energy, and yeah.
How do you plan on keeping this momentum for yourself going forward?
You just got to be ready. That's it, pretty much. Whatever you got to do to get your head in the game, do it. That's what I did today, and it worked. So.
All right, congrats on the win. Go enjoy it. Guys, and now we have the player of the game, Katie Garrett. Katie, congrats on the win. Let me just start off by saying you're probably one of the most dominant players I've ever seen play at the collegiate level. Coach was talking about your confidence. What do you do to build your confidence, especially after a game like this?
I don't know, actually. I like playing against harder people, so when I have that competitive play, I feel confident in my team and in myself to run those plays and, get the scores.
You've also currently had a double-double in the past 4 games. Do you feel like the game is getting easier for you now as the season goes along?
What's that?
Do you feel like the games for you get easier as the season goes along?
Definitely. Yeah, we are. The chemistry, it's there. It's starting to all work, and it's all hitting at that right moment when we're coming around to conference play. So I'm excited for the next games to come after break. So
congrats on the win, Katie. Go enjoy it. Dawson, Chris, back to you.
Thank you so much, Kashawn. And with that, that'll do it for us here at the Knight Arena here in beautiful Buena Vista, Virginia, as the Knights pull out a late game victory against the Shenandoah Hornets 67-58. We thank you so much for joining us on the Knights Sports Network. We hope to see you next time as our coverage continues with men's basketball against Eastern Mid-Atlantic University Saturday at 3 p.m. We'll see you then. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night. And remember, it's always a great day to be a Knight. Good night.